Welcome to Eerie Narratives, where the ordinary roads of life sometimes lead straight into the shadows. Tonight's story is called the Backroad Diner Special. Grab your headphones, dim the lights, and let's hit the road. Jake Harlan was the kind of guy who lived for the open highway. A long-haul trucker out of Atlanta, he'd been running routes across Georgia and the Carolinas for 15 years. The interstates were too crowded, too bright, too full of cameras and cops. Jake preferred the old two-lane back roads, quiet stretches of blacktop flanked by pine trees and cotton fields, where the only company was the hum of his Freightliner and the occasional deer eyes glinting in the headlights. One muggy October night, around 2 a.m., Jake was hauling a load of lumber north on a forgotten county road near the Okefenokee Swamp. Fog rolled in thick, turning the world into a tunnel of gray. His stomach growled. He hadn't eaten since Macon. Up ahead, a faint neon glow pierced the mist, a single sign flickering weakly. May's Roadside Diner, open 24/7. The place looked like it hadn't changed since the 70s, peeling paint, gravel lot with 2 rusted pickups, and a single floodlight buzzing over the door. Jake pulled in, killed the engine, and stepped inside. The bell jingled. No one at the counter. Just the smell of grease, old coffee, and something faintly sweet underneath. A woman appeared from the back, older, maybe 70, hair in a tight gray bun, apron stained but clean. "Evenin', hun. Coffee?" "Just something quick," Jake said. "Got any pie?" She smiled, thin lips stretching. "Always got pie. Today's special, pecan bourbon, fresh. On the house for late-night travelers." Jake raised an eyebrow. "Free pie? In this economy?" But he was too tired to argue. She slid a generous slice across the counter. Golden crust, dark filling glistening under the fluorescent light. Pecans toasted just right. He took a bite. Damn. Rich, buttery, with a kick of bourbon that warmed him from the inside out. He finished it fast, left a 10 on the counter even though she'd said free, and headed back to the truck. The woman was already gone. Odd, but whatever. He fired up the engine and pulled onto the road. That's when he felt it. The cab felt heavier, like someone had climbed in while he was inside. He glanced at the passenger seat. Empty. Rearview mirror. Nothing but fog and taillights fading. He shook it off. Long hours. Imagination. But 10 miles later, the truck handled differently. The steering pulled just a hair to the right, as if extra weight sat behind him. He checked the mirrors again. A shape? No. Just shadows. Then the whispers started. Low, scratchy, like radio static mixed with a man's voice. "You took it. You ate it. Now you carry me." Jake slammed the radio on. Country station blared. He turned it louder. The whispers didn't stop. By the time he got home to his small house outside Savannah 2 days later, he was exhausted. His girlfriend Sarah noticed right away. "You look like hell, babe. Rough run?" "Just tired," he muttered. But that night he woke up starving at 3 a.m. and raided the fridge for anything red. He tore into a pack of raw steak tips they'd bought for grilling, ate them cold, blood dripping down his chin. Sarah found him in the kitchen light, eyes wide. "Jake, what the hell?" He wiped his mouth. "Craving meat. Bad." It got worse. He started snapping at her over nothing, growled when she asked about work, demanded burgers, rare, almost raw. One evening he stared at the TV news about a cold case hit and run from 1998 on that same back road. A local named Travis Boone, run off the road by a drunk driver who never stopped. Body found weeks later, half eaten by animals. Case unsolved. Jake whispered without realizing. "They left me rotten." Sarah froze. "What did you say?" He blinked. Nothing. But the anger built. He threatened the mailman for being late. Told Sarah's brother, "Keep talking. I'll settle the score." His eyes, once warm brown, now had a hard, glassy shine, like someone else was looking out. Sarah couldn't take it. She called her Uncle Ray, a retired deputy who always believed in things that don't make the report. Ray listened, then said quietly, "Sounds like Hitchhiker's Revenge. Old story down there. Travis Boone's ghost rides with anyone who takes something that ain't theirs on that stretch. May's Diner. Place burned down in 99. Been empty ever since." They drove back to the spot. The diner was gone. Just a concrete slab overgrown with weeds, a faded sign half buried. But in the fog, Jake swore he saw the neon flicker for a second. Ray had prepared a small fire pit, salt, iron nails, and a crude effigy made from roadkill scraps wrapped in butcher paper, symbolic meat for the spirit to claim. They tied Jake to a folding chair near the old crash site, a twisted oak still scarred from the wreck. Travis came strong. Jake's body jerked, voice deepening into a snarl. "You left me 30 years. Now I take yours." Ray chanted low, threw salt, drove iron into the effigy. The fire roared. Jake screamed. Not his scream. Something tore free, a shadow ripping upward into the
survived, but he never drove again. These days, Jake sits on the porch, staring at the empty driveway where his rig used to park. He won't touch meat, won't watch the road after dark, and sometimes when the fog rolls in, Sarah swears she hears a faint whisper from the shadows. Pie's on the house. If you felt that chill, hit that like button, subscribe to Eerie Narratives for more true-feeling terrors delivered straight to your feed, and drop a comment. Would you stop for free pie on a lonely road? Sleep tight, or don't. The back roads are waiting. Until next time.